And so with our new month, we have a new theme. And so the theme is Journey of Becoming. And our message, as I said, is surrender is action. So I think the journey of becoming is paved in surrendering. The journey of becoming is paved in surrendering. And we know from the gratitude and the celebration that we had in November that we are already triumphant, right? One of the topics in November was celebrating the triumphant journey. So we're already triumphant. So no matter what it is that we're holding, whatever's in those bags, I had a lot of bags, y'all. In that meditation, I said, wait, the bags just keep coming. I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can carry all this, Chris. Right? The bags, talk about overpacking. The bags were packed. And it felt so good to just turn it all over to the water. To just turn it all over to the water. So as I was preparing for today's talk, I came across a line from Father Thomas Keating's poem called Welcoming. And the line says, I welcome everything that comes to me today because I know that it is for my healing. I welcome everything. Let's just take that in for a moment. I welcome everything that comes today because I know it is for my healing. Wouldn't that be a surrendered life? If we could welcome everything that comes to us today. Everything that comes to us, we welcome it. To just allow ourselves to be that willing vessel for that which is expressing itself through us and as us is an act of surrender. So I think there's a lot of misconception about surrender. Sometimes we think of surrender as just giving up, right? As quitting, as resigning ourselves to just what is and that there's nothing that we can do about it, right? But we know that that is not what surrender is. Surrender is an activity of God moving through us, and we get to participate in it. And that is where the action is, literally. That is where the action is. Surrender is action. It is not passive. It is not something that happens to you. It is something that you are involved in by your participation, by your consciousness, by engaging in it, by pouring yourself in it, and by allowing it to pour itself in you. So I've been talking lately about letting go, and a very common phrase that we hear is what? Let go and let God, right? We all know that, right? Let go and let God. So I want to share a story about letting go. And it's from the book of Awakenings by Mark Nepo, one of my favorites. Yes, it's a great one. And so he tells the story about letting go of rice. He says, so much more can happen with our hands open. In fact, closing and stubbornly maintaining our grip is often what keeps us stuck. Though we want to blame everything and everyone else, especially what we're holding on to. There is an ancient story from China that makes all this very clear. It stems from the way traps were set for monkeys. A coconut was hollowed out through an opening that was cut to the size of a monkey's open hand. Rice was then placed in the carved out fruit, which was left in the path of the monkeys. Sooner or later, a hungry monkey would smell the rice and reach its hand in. But once fisting the rice, its hand could no longer fit back out through the opening. The monkeys that were caught were those who would not let go of the rice. As long as the monkey maintained its grip on the rice, it was a prisoner of its own making. The trap worked because the monkey's hunger was master of its reach. The lesson for us is profound. We need to always ask ourselves, what is our rice? And what is keeping us from opening our grip and letting it go? The real challenge of surrender for all of us is just letting go. But letting go of something we yearn for. The truth is that food is everywhere. Though the stubborn monkey believes in a moment of hunger that there is no other food, it only has to let go for its life to unfold. Our journey is no different. For though we stubbornly cling, believing in our moment of hunger that there is no other possibility, we only have to let go of what we want so badly, and our life will unfold. For love is everywhere. I love that. To let go of the rice, right? So it made me think of this visual, right? Can my hand fit through this? It's closed. Can my hand? No. But if I start to open this, can my hand fit through? Can it fit through open? Can it fit through even fisted? It fits through, right? We are this opening. We are this opening. But many of us are holding onto the rice as if there ain't no more rice. As if this is it, right? Holding on to the wanting. Holding on to the wanting. So I've been having this dialogue all week in my morning sips. Those of you who know I do a daily inspiration talk called SIP, Spirit and Practice. And so this week we've been talking about want and the energy around want. And we live in a society that wants us to want, especially now, right? As we enter into the holiday season, want is all around us, right? But what I know about want is that it creates more wanting. It creates more wanting. So I looked up the word want, and we can guess, we know what want means, right? It means to feel a need or a desire for, to wish for. But whenever I look up words, I like to look up the origin of the word. Like, what's the meaning behind the meaning? And so the meaning behind want, the origins of it is to lack. To lack. Anyone surprised by that? It's a mixture of yes and no. Think about how you feel energetically when you want something. And especially when you think and believe then you can't have it. Right? We become like the monkeys holding on to the rice, when all that we need to do is to open up and let go. Open up and let go. So I started thinking about, okay, what's the opposite of want? What's the opposite of want? Say it again. Having. Fulfillment. Gratitude. I love all of those. Giving. Love it. Giving, receiving, right? The opposite of want. So I got curious about unwant. I started thinking, could the opposite of want be unwant? So I went to the dictionary, typed in unwant, and it said, do you mean unwanted? And I said, no, that's not what I mean, dictionary. So then I went to Google and I Googled unwant. And Google said, do you mean unwanted? And I'm like, no, I mean unwant. I said, okay, I guess I'm making up a word here. I could get with that too. So I started digging into unwant and unpacking that, right? So the prefix un means not, right? Pretty simple. However, the origins of un means this: a reversal of some state or some action or state, release. So not only does un mean not, on a deeper level, it means to release. To release some action or state. And we know that want means, at a deeper level, to lack, right? So I made up this definition for unwant. I'm going to send it to the dictionary and to the Google people. Yes, the Google people need some help. So my definition of unwant is this: to release the state of consciousness from the frequency and vibration of wanting, of lacking. To release our state of consciousness from wanting. Can you get with that? All right. I got an amen. I got an amen. Because what does Ernest Holmes teach us in the Science of Mind text? He teaches that, he said, we do not teach that you get what you want. That's what he wrote over and over and over again in the Science of Mind text. We do not teach that you get what you want. We teach that we comply with the law and it comes. Comply with the law and it comes. It is made manifest. So speaking of Ernest, sometimes we get tripped up about the law. So I just want to share the definition of law as per Ernest. Okay. Law, mind and action. The creative medium of spirit is the great mental law of the universe. It is the law of the spirit. It is the universal law of mind. The laws of mind and spirit must be understood if they are to be consciously used for definite purposes. There is no limit to the law. but there appears to be a limit to man's understanding of it. Right? When we are in that consciousness of wanting, we are not understanding how the law works through us and as us. Because ultimately, we don't get what we want. We get what we are. And so who are you? Who are you? That's a real question I'm asking. Who are we? Right? On those days when I don't want to let go of the rice, I have to remind myself of who I am. There's a verse in the Tao Te Ching that says, does a king go out begging for rice? Does a queen go out begging for rice? No. No. Because it's clear that the kingdom, the queendom is within. So where are we going? We are returning to ourselves, to who we are. And who we are, we often say this in our teachings, right? We are an individualized expression of God, of the divine, of the universe, of whatever you want to call it. We are individualized. And we can surrender to that. Let me ask a question. Would you rather experience what you want or who you are? Would you rather experience what you want or who you are? I am an individualized expression of God. I am joy, I am abundance, I am truth, I am compassion, I am love, I am peace, I am harmony. I want some rice. Would you rather experience what you want or who you are? We get to surrender into that wholeness that contains everything that we already are. There is no wanting in the knowingness of who we are. And we get to know that every single day and every single moment. I usually remind myself of that by taking a deep breath. It helps me to open my mind, open my heart, and release whatever that thing is that is really lack and limitation. What this world is yearning for is limited. And we haven't learned that lesson yet. We haven't. Because we keep wanting. Instead of knowing, affirming, declaring, decreeing who we are, who God made us to be. Y'all hear me? All right. So who are you? We are the image of infinite consciousness. Does that mean something to you? To know that, So those times when we're picking up all those bags that Chris had us pick up, can we know in those moments that we are infinite consciousness? What will remind you? What can you do to remind yourself of that? I want us all to think about that. And you know I'm going to give you some homework to help you out, help you out with that, right? Yeah, you know. So I was also in the Bible, and Acts 17:28 says this, and it's Paul is speaking, and he quotes a poet, and the poet said, "For in him we live and move and have our being, as certain also of your own poets have said, for we are also his offspring." So who are we? We are the offspring of the divine. And we live and we move and we have our being in that knowingness. And we get to surrender into knowing that, to let go and let God move, live, and be the beingness that we are. So let's surrender. Let's surrender to the vibration of unwanted. To release that limiting consciousness that has us believing that there is only rice. And if we let go of it, we have nothing. That is a lie. That is not the truth. Let's open up. Let's let go. Yes? Because we get to choose. We do. We get to choose how we want to experience this thing called life. We get to choose if we want to use or misuse the law. We get to choose it. No one else but us, for ourselves. And we can't choose it for anyone else, because we each are individualized. So we can't choose it for our children, our parents, our siblings, our friends. Everyone has to do their own letting go, their own surrendering. So you can have the experience of wanting, or you can have the experience of who you are. You can have the experience of living, moving, and having your beingness in the universe, in God, in the divine. You can have the experience of being who you truly are and experience that in everything, in every area of your life. Nothing is left out. Nothing. So are you willing to use the Lord to demonstrate who you are and not what you want? Are you willing to open up, to let go of that rice, to let it go? And so something that we can use is listening. Listening to that loving voice that guides us, our intuition, that is always in conversation with us. And sometimes our intuition takes form by having a conversation through our body parts, right? I have a tummy ache, that's a conversation. I have a headache, that's a conversation. My back hurts, that's a conversation. Our bodies are speaking to us when we don't want to let go of the rice. It's trying to get our attention. My stomach is telling me, surrender. Surrender. Stop holding on. Let it go. Let it go. And when we listen, we are called to a higher state of consciousness that's always present. Always present. Doesn't go anywhere. Wherever you are, what? God is. Wherever you are, God is. So we live a surrendered life by listening to the loving voice that guides us. And oftentimes when I'm working with people, they ask the question, but how do you tell if that's your intuition or if it's like your ego? How do you tell? It's loving. It's loving. It's guiding. It doesn't leave it doesn't lead with a question. It leads in guidance. And we've had that experience. Little ones, like you wake up in the morning and something says, go get that book. It doesn't say, which book should you get to ... It's very specific. That is guidance. That is the indwelling spirit within us that knows. And if it knows, you know too. But if you won't let go of the rice, it can't come in. It can't come in. It can't feed you. So we surrender to it. We surrender to it. Mark Nepo also says in the Book of Awakening that this act of acceptance, so because surrender is also acceptance. Whew. And acceptance, that one gets me, y'all, sometimes. I just don't want to accept that this is what it is, right? But this act of acceptance is a risk that frees us because we can't find the growth that awaits us until we give up what is against our own nature. Give up what is against our own nature. What is our nature? Our nature is love. Give up everything that is not your nature. Give up everything that is not love. He says, it is this surrender without knowing what will happen next that allows our lives to truly unfold. To let go and let God without knowing what is going to happen next. That takes trust and that takes faith. Not in what we can see with our physical eyes, but what we know, what we see with our spiritual eyes. When we release the state of consciousness that has us wanting, right? We can trust. We can trust. So surrender leads us to what? Ultimately, surrender leads us to an unconditional yes. Let go of the rice, yes. But when we're in wanting, and Spirit says, let go of the rice, we say, why? If I let go of the rice, what would I have? What will I get? Here we are, right back in wanting. So will you say yes to what you are being guided and directed to do? to release, to let go of? Will you let go of the rice? Will you? Will you? Let's let go of the rice, y'all. Because there is so much of who we are that is waiting to express through us. And that is what the world needs. So, here's your homework. So last month, we were talking about unconditional love and gratitude, and unconditional gratitude, right? Being grateful for everything, right? Being grateful for everything. So now we can add to this. We can add to our, let's call it, I like that bag analogy that Chris had us do in the meditation. So what if we had a becoming bag? I like that. What if we had like a really cute becoming bag? Oh, I already see mine, it's lovely. And in our becoming bag, we have unconditional love, we have unconditional gratitude, and we have unconditional yes. And that's what we get to carry with us. That's what we get to carry in us. Anyone? Yes? All right, we got our bag, we are packed, we are ready to go. We are ready to go. So we are letting go, we are letting God, we got everything that we need. We have chosen that we are experiencing who we are and not the want. Who we are and not the want. We are unwanted. We are unwanted. And we have let go of that rice. All right, y'all. You're with me? Yes. Okay, all right. So I want to close this with the lyrics to a song as our spiritual mind treatment. And so I just invite you to go within. And the song is called Yes. And it's sung by the Shekinah Glory Ministry. And if you never heard this song before, I would really, really, really invite you to check it out. You could Google it. Yes, by Shekinah Glory Ministry. Well, let's take a breath. Will your heart and soul say yes? Will your spirit still say yes? There is more that I require of thee. Will your heart and soul say yes? Now, will your heart and soul say yes? Will your spirit still say yes? If I told you what I really need, will your heart and soul say yes? Open your heart and tell the spirit yes. Say yes. Say I'll obey. I won't stray. This time I made up my mind. I'll say yes. My soul says yes. My mind says yes. My heart says yes. I'll do what you want me to do. I'll say what you want me to say. I'll go where you lead me. Open your heart and say yes. I won't be afraid. I'll step out on the word. I'll declare the glory. Yes, I will. Yes, I am. Thy will be done. My soul says yes. I am that which thou art. Thou art which I am. And my soul says yes. And so it is. Amen. Peace and blessings, everyone. Yes, yes. So everyone have a wonderful week. I so look forward to being with you all again on Sunday. What are we doing? What are we letting go of? The rise. The rise. Let go of the rise. Surrender it all. Surrender it all. Peace and blessings, everyone.